What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the Kansas City Royals franchise here on MLB The Show 23 on DFG. And after our full season here, season 2 is over, and we finished 77 and 85. But there is some things we have to take care of here, as we do have our AA squad being in the playoffs. So let's see how they get on here. They beat Frisco in the first game. And they travel to Frisco. There's a loss. Click there. Another loss. One more loss and that'll be it. Zach Little trying to close it out here for Frisco Rough Riders. And indeed, the Naturals will be knocked out. So, they get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. But it's nice to see our minor leagues get into the playoffs as we sim to the postseason. And the Dodgers have won the World Series once again. Here's a list of all the players that are retiring. I'm not going to go through many of them here. But if you do want to look at them, just slow down the video, you'll be able to see them. Here are the guys going into the Hall of Fame: Verlander and Max Scherzer. And now we've got some coaches to hire. So we start off with our hitting coach. We need to get a new one of those. Yeah, I think we'll make an offer to Greg Velez here. Go with that. And for first base, we'll go with Mike Waters here. I like boosts here as well. Here are the guys that we need to get some to make some offers here. Jordan Hicks, of course, is one of the guys that I didn't want to re-sign him initially, but I think I will. He did change his season around in the second half of the year and actually became pretty decent for us in our run there at the end of the year, which we were pretty good at. I think we're going to make this a club option here, give him a little bit of extra money, see if he'll accept that. That'll give us an opportunity that if something does happen, we can get rid of him. Randall Grichuk came in for us on a 1-year deal, and he actually did okay. He was like top 4 in average, and I think I want to keep him around, even if it's just for one more year. Grichuk has been, he was an upgrade for our outfield. Now, Nick Prado was a guy that I think should move up to the major leagues. I think I'll put his minor league stats up as well. You might be able to see them there, but I think he deserves to stay around, so I'm going to exercise his option. He may not make the major league squad, but we will take a look at him anyway in spring training. Another guy who will definitely be kept around is Ryan Yarbrough. Very, very good season. Improved his ERA. His whip went was better. His home runs allowed were pretty much the same, but he ate a lot of innings. And I want to keep Yarbrough around, so his option would be exercised as well. Other than obviously the top 2 who were got their contracts, the rest of these guys will be left go. So Pollock, Randall, Odor, Garrett, and Cotto will all go free agents. So Mike Waters is going to go to the Dodgers. We need to get a different base coach. Yeah, give me Sonny Stevenson. -3 durability is not great, but the arm strength and the fielding and speed, I'll take that. Moving on to arbitration now. These are the 3 guys, and honestly, I don't think any of them are really guys I want to keep around. James Caprillion started off really good with us this season, but by the time the season had ended, it really had turned around for him. And Jason Bosler did not give us the same production that he had given us a year before when he came over from the Cincinnati Reds, so he's probably going to go too. I did have like a lot of things here to So here we're going into just some re-signings of mostly minor league players that I'm gonna just fast forward through, put some music underneath. Um, this is me post commentating, though I did go through all these. It's a long slog of just bringing guys up, giving guys contracts that they were interested in, and majority of them still re-signed. Guys like Neville Nunez, Bobby Ostrander, guys who only got 1 year minor league deals last year, they're probably going to get something similar again here. So I'm just going through these, keeping the guys around that I want to keep, and letting go some of the guys that I got rid of. I actually took down a lot of their minor league statistics to make sure that I knew who performed and who didn't. So guys like Geraldo Guzman, guys like Kelvin Sennett, though I was going to give Kelvin Sennett a go, but I knew all these guys' statistics in terms of what they put up in terms of average. Some of these guys will get a chance at the majors, like Julio Pablo Martinez. Obviously, you'd want to see Sennett and Guzman, all these guys get opportunities. So Matt Taylor might get an opportunity as well. Like, we have a lot of guys who are in the high 60s that we need to find out what they are. Here's me thinking about Gerard Gonzalez. I did end up deciding to give him a contract. Lou Ojeda is a guy that I actually want to keep around. I think he could be someone who makes major league roster this year, depending on how spring training goes. Connor Hollis also had a pretty good end of the year. I'm going to give Austin Cox a contract, even though I don't necessarily think he's going to make it. But there's a lot of players here that I just go through and just give contracts to. As I said, the majority of them are either guys who are in the minor leagues, or they're on the cusp of getting onto the major league roster, and will be given a shot at the major leagues come the spring training. And we'll take a look at that, and we'll go through that when that happens. So some guys did reject their offers and tested free agency. Some other guys didn't, and so on and so forth. But I think the one thing that I'm kind of looking forward to this season is who's going to make the jump up to the major leagues. Who's the guys in our minor leagues that are going to get the jump up to the major leagues and get a chance. I mean, we saw a lot of players come up late last year. You look at guys like Connor Hollis, Tucker Bradley came up at some point. A lot of guys there that did make the leap that were really good as well. And I thought Connor Hollis did a pretty good job as well with his utility. He did a great job. I think Tucker Bradley had a very good run. Nick Prato got off to a pretty good start, but never really kept that up. His average went down significantly. But I think there's a lot of guys who are on the cusp of the roster now that we need to sort out and look at in spring training. Tyler Gentry, a guy we just offered a contract there, he's one of them. Certainly. But there's a lot of guys. Chris Quinones is a guy who we gave a minor league contract to last year, if I'm not mistaken. He ended up being a very good addition to our bullpen. So you can see his numbers there. I know he only did 10 innings, but he did more than good enough for us in those 10 innings. So I was very happy with him. He only came up in the last. I don't know how much actually he was there for, but yeah, he was certainly a guy I was pretty happy to keep around. But I suppose the big thing that we're looking for in free agency is we have a first baseman in Vinny Pasquantino. I'd like to get someone who can actually play the position. I wouldn't mind looking at maybe getting a second baseman, maybe a third baseman, and maybe an outfielder, and maybe get some pitching as well. So there's a lot of holes in this team that we wanna figure out, and we're gonna start doing that now. So who are our starting pitcher options in free agency? Of course, we know that we don't offer to high overall players and guys up in the 90s. We're more of a team who offers low 80s, and Clayton Kershaw has come available, though he's 79 overall now. At first base, CJ Cron. Rowdy Tellez might be an option. He's not terrible defensively, though I do think he probably would be a DH option and put Vinny Pasquantino maybe. He had 36 home runs last year. He had a really good year. 278, 26 home runs. He basically made himself better in every category. 30 years of age. You give him a 1-year deal, and let's see what kind of power he gives you. Yeah, he's done well with Milwaukee over those the last 2 seasons, so I wouldn't mind giving Rowdy Tellez an offer here, see what kind of player he could be for us. We'll give him an offer here. I'm going to go for 1 year, $8 million, and see where he goes from there. We also need a second baseman, and the guy I want to look at is Christian Arroyo. Very good position flexibility, can even play at right field as well. But he's a guy I want to play second base. We don't have a second baseman that is a starter at the major league level right now. We do have some minor league guys that I think are far away. Christian Arroyo was significantly better than who we had last year with Ronald Odor. Kind of taking up the starting position later on the season. He was actually fine. I think he did a pretty good job. But Christian Arroyo is certainly someone who would be an upgrade. He's got a bit of power on him. He can hit for average. I think Christian Arroyo is probably the guy that we're going to take a look at here. Giving him a club option here as well, just 2 years, $12 million. There's no really guys at second base. Third base, there could be a few options. What are we looking at in the outfield here? I actually went back to relief pitching now, and Lucas Sims is a guy who I want to take a look at. Had some decent innings, put in some good numbers after a really poor first year, or 2023. He seems to be a guy who's pretty inconsistent from year to year, but wouldn't mind giving Lucas Sims a go here. We do need more relief pitching options. We haven't brought back Hicks yet. He hasn't quite agreed to his deal, so getting another relief pitcher in could be a good idea. Tyler Glasnow is available as well. Now, he's just coming off of Tampa Bay. A season with Tampa Bay, which wasn't really fantastic, but given his attributes, I know he's 31, his overall is going down right now, but I think we could bring him in. Like, as I said, he's not at the greatest of the last few years, but I still think he could be a decent part of the roster. So he's still a positive WAR player, and we need starting pitcher options. He could be number 3 behind Singer and Syndergaard. So there's that offer gone in. Marcus Stroman, I'm going to give an offer to as well, just in case we don't get Glasnow. So I'm going to give him 2. That's still not higher. Maybe give him just 11. Okay, that's higher. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, we finally got our full coaching staff. Greg Velez did come in, as did Sonny Stevenson. So they're going to be our that's going to be our staff for the year. We've no more, nothing more to deal with on that end. Might have to go back and look at Tyler Glasnow's contract actually, because I think our offer wasn't good enough. I might have to change that. I'll have to wait and see what way it goes. Here are the re-signings that you can see here. Oh, Rowdy Tellez and Lucas Sims have both signed. And there's some more signings here. Jordan Hicks has finally re-signed, so that's not a bad start either. We need a backup catcher as well, so James McCann is the guy that I want to bring in. High average, didn't really have that much power, but I don't really care. He's going to be back up to Perez anyway, so we'll give him an offer here for 1 year. Gotta fix the 40-man after making some signings. So the guys we're going to get rid of here, we brought up Michael Hellman is the first guy. He hasn't got a chance, though I think he could be someone we could bring up. Derek McGee, we saw him. He did not show that he could be a major league pitcher on this squad right now. Who else is there? Maybe Austin Cox. I know I just re-signed him, but I could just release him. Ryan Yarbrough and Quinones, they're not going anywhere. Packard could go, but we'll have to wait and see. So there is Lucas Sims. He's our third best reliever with Hicks, Coleman, and Sims. That's a pretty good 1-2-3 punch to have. Coleman has been particularly incredible. And there's Rowdy Tellez. Now, between the two of them, I think you probably do put Vinny Pasquantino as first baseman. Rowdy Tellez goes to DH. So that's probably the way we're going to do it. I'm going to remove Brian Packard from the 40-man. I just don't see him making the roster. Also, we had to go with Clay Dungan. He's also going to go. Yeah, Austin Cox, he's just not proved to be good enough. And Michael Hellman has been claimed by Colorado, so we'll see how that goes. Now Brian Packard is on his way to Colorado. And Austin Cox went to Detroit. There goes Sir Anthony Dominguez. So lots of things happening. Here's some more signings. Christian Arroyo has made the move to Kansas City. Tyler Glasnow has also signed. So Christian Arroyo will be our second baseman here for this season. Now we've got some lower level guys to fill in for the minor league roster. So this is just me filling out some of those spaces. Some guys came back like Angel Zerfa, Angel Zerfa, he came back. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm really doing here, just giving offers to guys that need to fill out the minor league rosters. And we bring in some guys with some seed potential that might be able to make a play at the major leagues down the line. I was looking at outfielders here, and Anthony Santander is still available. And he's available on a pretty cut price deal, 3 years for $3 million. I might just give him 1 year and give him $4 million and see how he likes that. I mean, he can give you some power. I'm not too unhappy about that. And back to bringing in guys for the minor leagues here again. Just trying to get the squad up to date. And here's the draft lottery. So we're got 3.9% chance of getting the number 1 pick, and we did. Okay, I will happily take another number 1 overall pick after going 77 and 85. Here are more signings. So Anthony Santander did make the jump over to the Kansas City Royals. I don't know if he's going to be an incredible signing. I do need a right fielder. I do have Tucker Bradley, but I need someone of at least starting caliber out there. So the Rule 5 draft is coming up now. Some guys were taken early. Honestly, I don't know if there's anybody in this draft that I would really be looking at. Yeah, there's a lot of C potential guys who have decent overall, but I'm not gonna make any moves on them, I don't think. Like if there was an outfielder, maybe. But none of them are over like 68 overall, and we brought in Anthony Santander. And we have Kelvin Sinnott as well, so he's a guy who could go. Tyler Matzik, that wouldn't be a terrible pick, but we have relievers. And none of those guys I really like that. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to draft anybody in the Rule 5. I usually do like picking up players in the Rule 5, but I think this year, usually you can pick up good players, but in this year's game, it's less likely. And with that, we're at spring training. So these are going to be our lineups for the season. Now, obviously, we're going to take a look at some of the players in spring training. But this is the lineup that I would want to go with. Obviously, the bench is going to be where a lot of people earn their keep. You can see some players there: Tucker Bradley, Guzman, Ojeda, McCann, Hollis, Grichuk. Grichuk probably does have a major league roster place. He's very good against lefties. Wallace, Prado, Cross, all these guys will be looking for bench roles, unless they can, do really well. I don't think any player could ever do enough to gain a starting spot, but certainly a bench place. Right now, I think our right-handed pitching lineup is pretty good. We've got some contact. We've got some power in there. Waters is always an underrated hitter, I think, against righties, and I always do underrate him. But this year, he's getting to start in center field in our right-handed pitching lineup, so that's good for him. Obviously, new signings Tellez and Santander also in there with Arroyo. And then on our left-hand pitching, we've got a lot of really good options. Pasquantino, Arroyo, Grichuk. All guys that can hit lefties pretty well. Santander, of course, a guy who can hit for power. Melendez is another guy who's very good against lefties. Perez. We've got a lot of good lefty hitters. So that's pretty good. Again, you'll see more guys here. Pretty much the same guys as you saw, before. They're going to be guys who are going to be battling it out in spring training. If I was going to go right now, I would think Bradley probably get one. James McCann, of course, will probably get on the roster to be the backup catcher. Hollis will probably be a guy who will definitely make the roster. Waters as well. So I don't think there's many spots up for grabs in this year's spring training, but we'll still see how players get on. And that's the end of free agency, guys. I know we kind of flew through it there, but I do just want to get this down to as short a video as I can. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.